Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, and honestly, watching Ready to Love at this point is just a guide on what not to do and who not to date. Because the more I watch it, the more I'm like, you know what, Elaine? You're not doing half bad. The way some of these men, if not all, are just walking red flags. And then the way that some of these women, if not all, are so, do I want to say delusional? A lot of them lack self-awareness to a degree that is just befuddling to me. I'm here like big woman, you know, big man. And they act worse than people younger than me. Let's just get into it, okay? This is Ready to Love, season 9, episode 3. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. My eyes aren't really working that well today. It is morning time, so I'm just going to read the notes off my phone, okay? Tommy introduces the two groups of singles, and off the bat, Mika means business.
You don't want any kids?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah, do you?
Mm-mm.
So good luck.
Okay.
You are very beautiful.
But like, I'm not a party girl. I'm really big on family. I do a lot of things with my kids.
So I'm not sure if I noticed this before or because I really was just looking at her beauty chart. I wasn't really looking at her conversations, or if she's just sold on one person, but she seems very standoffish with guys who aren't Dominique. Maybe she's already made her decision and she doesn't really want to business with the other men. And it's not like she's the worst of the worst, because we're going to get to the worst. But I was like, oh, I thought she was a little bit more welcoming, more of a conversationalist than how she came off this episode. So that was interesting to me. I felt like she didn't want to give the men any energy at all. And this is going to be a theme in this video. And I don't want it to seem as if I feel like women need to be nice and need to be overly polite and need to be flirty, even if they don't want to be. There is a benefit in a process like this when you don't know these people, to approach them with warmth, to approach them with openness. And a lot of these women don't want to do that. Either they already got their mindset on somebody, or they just don't care about the process at all. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, you ain't got to be falling over a man who you don't care for at all, but a little bit of warmth. Put the prejudgment aside just for a second. At least let the person sink themselves before you rule them out. You know what I'm saying? She's not the worst, like I said, not even near the worst, but that's going to be a theme in this review. Next, we have Maya. Maya actually knows how to give the guys some good energy.
A huge thing for me is smiles.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first thing I notice every time.
Yeah.
She seems so natural and genuine. I'm loving it here already. My sons were like the first like blood relatives that I knew.
Yeah.
And so like my relationship with my boys is like.
That's so sweet though. I love that. It just makes me feel special, you know, that he's comfortable enough with me to express those feelings.
William this time around had a better demeanor about himself. The first time we saw him, he seemed very unserious. The job thing and all that. I learned from y'all that what he does is just like a weekend part-time thing. So comedy is the full-time job. I mean, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you need to come with some kind of stability. Either way, the conversation with Maya was a lot better than the conversations he had his first mixer. So good for him. He made a good impression. Maybe we'll be seeing him a lot more because a lot of the women were actually enjoying his company this time around. The goofies of the crew. Alonzo and Kashia. Funny thing is, they don't even get along. And I'm here like, Goofy is as Goofy does, because y'all doing the same. Why is Alonzo here rubbing people's feet, child? What are we doing? He's dropping chairs when he's talking to people. Just, I guess that's more so clumsy than Goofy, but he just, mercy. Then you have Kashia. I was ready to fight for you because she's talking about LaRon. Because if you were my man, I'd be face down, ass up for LaRon. For LaRon. I mean, girl, I guess you like what you like, but what you like is very telling on where your mind is at. And I'm like, you're very unserious if you're going to be tooted up for LaRon. All right, let's move on. Jonathan hasn't dated since his divorce, and a few of the women are concerned about it because he has spun the block with his ex-wife a few times.
Because she still want to be with you?
Yeah, does she still want to be with
Yeah,
you?
but she still want
I
to be
have
with
those vibes.
Have you like spent the block and hit that thing again?
I said, you know, they like to spin the block.
I have done that.
Really?
Yeah, I have.
What are you thinking?
Baby mama drama.
Honestly, I'd have the same concerns. I know that he was annoyed that the women kept asking about his ex-wife's relationship, him and his ex-wife's relationship in terms of, do y'all still kick it like that? But if you're saying the divorce happened, I guess at the time of filming, it would have been about 3 years ago that it was finalized, or maybe 2, I'm not quite sure. And you have gone back there and you still have the impression that she wants you. What happens if you get pissed off at me for whatever reason, right? And she's there ready to console you. As somebody who you're pursuing, I need to know that that door is closed completely. And Jonathan is giving the impression that that's not quite the case. Also, the way that he keeps getting defensive about it, I do understand that the way the women are questioning him does kind of put him on the back foot, but he's getting defensive to the point where I would say, I feel like there's more to this story than you're trying to give me. And so, yeah, I would be concerned like the women that he's talking to. Lamar and April, a hot ass mess. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to put these two at a table together, separate them immediately.
Lamar, you got children?
Nope.
Okay.
Next.
Have you ever been married?
Yep, twice.
Okay.
Next.
So how long were you there?
Why does that matter?
Because I asked.
What's the issue with answering my questions if those things are important to me?
She finna try to muscle somebody, put him in a headlock. No man wants to be in no headlock.
But see, now I don't like talking to you no more.
Okay.
Dismissed.
Never dismissed.
The funniest thing about this is that in my first impressions, that's how I'm so good at reading people. Both Koshia and April were women I was concerned about. Both of them. And this episode proved exactly why. I think I specifically said with April that she looks rigid. And it's definitely giving rigid. She's asking questions in a way that's so interrogative. I don't know where the emphasis on that word is, but she's very like hounding you. She's very much hounding him with questions. And he's like, okay, here's the answer next. Here's the answer next. And so where he started off with good energy, he's leaving annoyed with her. And I can't necessarily blame him. She's not allowing him to actually connect with her. It's just, I have a checklist. Do you match it? Yes or no? Don't waste my time because, like, girl, how does that fit in a process like this? You can't just say, here's a list of things. Do you match? Yes or no? Because people are trying to get to know you as well. And you're not giving them a chance to get to know you. I will say, if she had asked the questions in a nicer way and he still didn't want to answer some of them, was it him who didn't want to answer or was that Jonathan? Yeah, some questions he didn't want to answer or he pushed back on the answer, then I would be like, okay, there's a problem with Lamar. But her way of questioning and the way that she was just riddling them off, no, that would have put me off too. Alonzo and Jonathan go on a bowling date with Alexis and Koshia. Oh, this is where, okay, because Alonzo and Koshia end up having a phone call that just went left. And I was wondering, how did they even connect in the first place? I totally forgot that they went on this date. Anyways, the girls are saying that they're very competitive. They win the bowling bet that they have. So the guys have to do a chicken dance. Very fitting with these two men here. Jonathan and Koshia have nothing going for them.
My number one love language is quality time.
Why is that? I'm trying to dig deeper in here right now, so...
I'm trying.
I see her mentally shutting down, and I simply don't feel we have anything in common.
Is it just me, or did I have a problem with the question and the answer? Because how are you going to ask me if I tell you my top love language is quality time? Well, why is that? What do you mean, why is that? I like spending time with my person. Like, what kind of question is that? And then her answer, too, she couldn't even give an answer as to why quality time is her top love. I was like, okay, what? What is going on here? These two obviously don't want a business with each other, and it shows. That date was intercepted by Alonzo. It was Alonzo, right? No. Jonathan ended up having a conversation with Alexis, which went a lot better, but he brought up the feet thing again, and I'm like, these men and the feet. The two goofy men have feet fetishes. I don't know if it's a direct correlation or a causation or something, but be wary of the men with the feet fetish, all right? Koshia talks about communication being key in her relationships, and I just had to cackle because she literally just struggled to communicate her love language to the date just prior.
What's most important, though, about communication is comprehension.
If we had a pregnancy scare right now, just to get the gears turning in her mind and see how she's gonna react on the spot.
Alonzo's jokes are definitely not my vibe. Read the room.
Do you always speak in code?
When you ask about my ovaries, yes.
Okay, got it.
In this conversation, Alonzo says that he likes to throw curveballs, right? And it makes sense because they end up having a phone call conversation after where he asks her, do you like to be smacked or choked? And then has the audacity to say, oh, I didn't mean that in a sexual way. Then how did you mean it? If not sexual, how was it meant? I think that's what Koshia should have asked. But anyways, I think that he throws humor out there a lot. He maybe treads on the line of sexual innuendos and stuff like that to avoid getting vulnerable. This is why I feel like he's just a goofy guy. Like, let me be the funny guy. Let me not get deep with the people who, you know, are in this process for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is, but Alonzo just doesn't do it. He doesn't do it for me. He doesn't do it for the women besides Patrice. And yeah, I do feel like the women have been standoffish with him, but he is failing to realize that he's not even allowing himself to be vulnerable with the women. If he was vulnerable and the women were like not trying to be, then fine. But he just annoys me. Anyways, let's move on. I also think that Koshia just wants LaRon, so she's not going to give these men the time of day to begin with. The next date is between William, Lamar, Patrice, and Vanessa, who go on this like fluid art date. Lamar, again, off rip with these sexual conversations.
It's a different experience for me, for sure.
It is. This is like a little sexual. I might need to touch you.
You gonna get paint on me?
I might not. But what's your core values?
I would say a man after God's own heart.
I'm gonna jump your bones. I'm going to pounds.
How did we go from God to jumping bones?
God knows.
This man is coming in too fast with the sex conversations. Of course, we're all adults. We understand that adults have sex. Consenting adults have sex if they want to. But having that be the jump off of your conversations just makes the women think you're only here to bone somebody. Like, you're not here for anything serious. Why would they try to give you the time of day, right? With Patrice, though, this was a good example to me of not being interested in somebody, but still having that energy that's still light and not super serious or overbearing or anything like that. Again, it is not a woman's obligation to make a man feel comfortable because we feel uncomfortable more times than we would like to admit around the presence of certain men, right? So I'm not saying you have to be like Patrice, but you do see a theme with Patrice, especially in the end when a lot of guys are saying she's my top, she's my top, she's my top, because she has a warmth to her. She has a welcoming energy. Even if she's already decided in her mind, this is not going to go any further. You know what I'm saying? So I did like that about her. You also do a disservice to yourself in a process like this because, yeah, you might not connect with most of the guys, but you have your one person. The guys still deliberate. If you're rude to them or if you're just not getting along with a lot of the people, that might be the reason why you go, even if you have a strong connection. So people like Koshia, people like, what's her name now? The beautiful girl. There's a lot of them. Frick. Laylin? Not Laylin. Laylin is gorgeous too, though. What is her name? Whatever. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The beautiful dark-skinned girl with the braids. She and Koshia seem to be sold on their one person, so they don't want to give the other men the time of day. Fine, that's your prerogative. But one, you could be getting sent home because you're not connecting with enough people. And two, you might miss out on an unlikely pairing because you've already locked yourself off with a premature connection. That's just my opinion. Moving on, Vanessa and William have a conversation about the person who they want to connect with, God-fearing, kind, nice, whatever. That conversation didn't go long because Lamar intercepted the date.
I want him to be attractive, want stability. A man that fears God is really important to me.
I'm right there with you.
Okay.
I just got it just a little bit. Come on.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay,
I had to come on.
Good talking
Yes.
with you.
Oh, come on.
Definitely chop it up.
You have a beautiful smile, great energy.
Thank you.
You know, I could say you're a little reserved.
Yeah.
Do you scream?
Yeah.
Can you scream for me real quick?
No.
I just want you to scream.
Is this a spontaneous test?
I felt like we were just about to see a good thing happen between William and Vanessa, but Lamar pulls her aside to say, the reason why the guys put you in the bottom is because you're not open. And I'm here like, well, did you even give her a chance? Like, here she was with William about to really open up, it felt like to me, but the guys don't give her a moment to warm up. And Lamar wants somebody who's just as freaky deaky as he is. He wants you to be on demon time immediately. And not everybody is like that. So give her a chance to warm up. And now he's trying to like force her out of her shell. It's not going to work. It's really not going to work. You don't want to make somebody who they're not. They will later on resent you for it. Yeah. So Patrice opens up about being the aggressor in her past relationships and how she's not going to do that anymore. Honey, I feel that on a spiritual, existential, whatever kind of level, honey. I'm tired of it. I'm not driving to you all the time. I'm not planning everything all the time. I'm just not doing it. I feel you, Patrice. She says that she loves quality. Oh no. Patrice goes on a date with Laurent and she's intrigued by his baby face. I'm like, this woman and wanting to be with younger men, I really need to hear her explain what that's all about. But they're talking about quality time and she enjoys being with her partner while Laurent enjoys being with this catfish.
He seemed really fun and really laid back, and he has such an innocent baby face. Anything with you is considered quality time.
This catfish is good as hell. Oh my God. Oh. I'm lost for words right now. I just want to tear this up.
So yeah.
Laurent, now riddle me this. You go to the club Sunday to Monday, all right? And, or is it Sunday to Saturday? Whatever. The point is, he's there all week. Now when you have an opportunity to be on a date and get to know a woman one-on-one, have deep conversations, everything is paid for, I would presume, you can't even be present in the date. You want to be fixated on this catfish here. When are you going to have the time to genuinely connect with women? You can connect with women at the club, but as we saw in his pre-roll footage, it's not serious. He just wants to watch the women twerk in the mirror and what, like he acknowledges that it's time for him to find something serious. It's time for him to change, but here's your opportunity and you're disengaged. I'm struggling to figure out why Laurent is here. Why is Laurent here? Why is Alonzo here? Why is Jonathan here? All these lower age bracket men, I'm sorry, they must go. They must go. Can't deal with any of them. Anyways, Jonathan and April go on a date, and this is absolutely producer-led because ain't no way these two would want to be on a date with each other.
It wasn't the marriage that I've always saw for myself.
So what do you think went wrong?
He didn't know how to exercise self-control. If she still wants you or desires to be in a relationship with you, and you said you got the vibe or the energy that she does, why do you think that?
I'm on this intimate date with April, and the fact that she's asking me questions about my past relationship again, I really don't understand why.
If I feel like I'm being disrespected or attacked and like backed into a corner, I'm coming out with knives and guns.
Okay.
We learned that in April's previous relationship, which was a marriage, it seems as if her husband was unfaithful. And so it makes sense why Jonathan's history with his own ex-wife is a trigger to her, because faithfulness is something that she's looking for and has not had in a previous relationship, right? I will say that April needs to work on finding points of connection rather than points of contention. She wants to find things to argue about instead of find commonalities that they can connect over. And so it's not going to be a great process for Miss Mamas. if you are constantly looking for things to have issues with. Who's going to want to connect with somebody who just says, and this is wrong about you, and this is wrong about you, and this is why I would fight you, and this is, and this is, and this is, and this is, girl, I'm over it. I'm already over it. And she admitted to having a dark side, essentially saying, listen, when I get mad, I could snap on you. I'm just willingly going to walk into that situation? Absolutely not. All right. Yeah, so ultimately, the women who were on the bottom are April and Kashia. No surprise there. Patrice was at the top of a lot of guys' lists. No surprise there. The energy that the women bring to their dates is starkly different. So just take note. Just saying. In a process like this, you got to play the game to get what you want, you know? Then during the exit dates, honey, things get from bad to worse for Kashia. Alonzo had said something she did not appreciate over the phone. She's trying to set a boundary. He's not respecting it. It's not good.
Choked or spanked? I said, hey, that's not a question I'm willing to answer. Those three words woven together has a sexual connotation. I became offended and disrespected when he told me that I was immature to assume that this question meant anything sexual. So from this moment forward, we can change the subject, or tonight's date will be over.
Got you. If you want to give me the respect of asking me if I meant sexual or not, you should have done that, and that's perfectly fine. And I said what I had to say.
With Kashia, the delivery is a little bit whoa, but I agree with her sentiment. The way that you said, do you want to be smacked or choked, is sexual. And I would be hard pressed to think there's any other context that you could have meant that in. Come on, be for real. She's an adult, she's not an idiot. And then she had said, we can either change the conversation or I'm going to leave. He changed the conversation, but then he brought it back. So she got up and she left. She set a boundary. I have to respect that. I do. With April, she was told she's not ready to love. She feels like that is false. She thinks that she has been open. She lacks self-awareness, just like the girl from the last week. The way that you come across has a strong bearing on how you're going to be perceived by the men in this process. And if you seem closed off, if you seem jaded, if you seem rigid, if you seem cold and callous, you're not going to be kept around. So I don't know, maybe April was edited wrong. I highly doubt that, but I would love to see how she believes she came across, because she seems to think that the men got it all wrong. So next week, it seems like the baby mama thing comes up again with Jonathan. We'll see how he saves himself out of this one. And yeah, this is going to be a loveless season. I don't see no love connections for nobody, but that's fine because I'm not looking for love on this show anyway. So as always, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.